We hope so. There we go. Make it long. Okay, we are ready to get going. Good morning. I'm very excited about today's meeting because we have a lot of good stuff to share with you. So let me get our screen going here. Letting the last few people in. Welcome, welcome. And let's go to slideshow. And from the beginning. Okay, moving on here. Always like to give a quick shout out before we move on to our affiliates. So thank you so much for reaching out to them, using them, and continuing to keep our company strong. I also want to give a nice shout out to two new agents to our office, Jackie Jimenez and Ed Oseguera, and we are glad you're here. And when they're around, I'll introduce you all to them. Okay, congratulations also, listing agents. Our goal is 30. We are at 23. We have one more week to get them in. So if you've got a listing, make sure you get it into SkySlope right away. We do pull the numbers directly from SkySlope. So congratulations, Connor and Patty and Chris Berger and Lance and Josie Lerma and the Wasserman Real Estate Group. Congratulations to all of you. You're doing an amazing job on getting listings. And then on the sales side, I want to congratulate those of you who got some into escrow over the last week. Our goal is 45. We're at 29. We can push. We can do 15 in one more week. It just takes a couple of days. So we have the man and woman power here, and so I look forward to seeing all of them go in. But congratulations again, Wasserman Real Estate Group, Maria Villagrana, Brian Beard, Marty Butler, S.P. Valdez, Angie Abraham, Patty Illingworth, and Josie Lerma. So congratulations to all of you as well. Okay, as I mentioned in my email to you, I would like to bring up Mark Wasserman, who is going to be going over the desert housing report. And, as you know, we get this every month. It's got some great information, but he's going to share with us. Do you have your little microphone? Yes.
I have my little microphone.
Good.
I can hold it like this?
No, you can put it on your collar or on your shirt. There you go.
Wow.
And that way you'll be able to hear him. If you cannot hear him, let me know. But in any event, I'm turning it over to Mark. Thank you, Mark.
I don't know how you do this.
You want to stand here and I'll stand over there?
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah, come on.
No, I'll put my back.
No, you're good.
Okay, so Gina and I were emailing kind of back and forth, and I have done these quite a bit. I think if Lisa's shaking her head, so Lisa's been part of it. What do you need?
The mouse? I can let people in then. Oh. All right, Imelda's in charge.
And is everybody familiar with the desert housing report that PR and PSR RAR put out? Is anybody not familiar with it? Everybody knows about this report and they use it? Okay, good. If you're not, and those of you that are at home or wherever you are, if you're not using this report in every single presentation, you're really missing a great opportunity to demonstrate your knowledge of the market. There is a tremendous amount of data in here. It's produced every month by CDAR and PSRAR. Comes out around the first week or so of each month. So I would highly encourage you to look at it. So Gina and I were chatting, and I said I would love to go through this once a month when the report comes out, whether we do it here in this format or if we do maybe a smaller group of people that want to get together and talk about it. And it's really about coming up with scripts for both buyers and sellers that you can use in your presentation. So again, if you're not using this in your presentation, you're missing a great opportunity to demonstrate your knowledge of the market. So there's really two agents in the market, right? There's the uninformed and the informed. So let's call Jim the uninformed agent, right? So let me say Jim here. So let's say Jim walks into Stater Brothers, right? He listened to Gina's presentation last week and he's wearing his Berkshire, won't be a Berkshire, be a different brokerage name tag, right? So Jim's wearing his name tag and he sees an old friend. The old friend says, Jim, you're still in real estate. Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations. Jim, tell me about the market. What's going on? Jim said, man, it's hot, man. The market it's hot. It's on fuego. It is so hot. The market's hot, 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 hot. Have you sold your home yet? Sell, 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 hot. See, that's the uninformed, right? Now Jane, she's the informed agent because she reads this report. She attends trainings. Jane walks into Stater Brothers and sees a good friend. And the friend says, Jane, you're name tag, you're still in real estate. How's the market? I'm so glad you asked. Well, let me tell you a little bit about the market. Our market, just like every market across the United States, is okay. But what's interesting about our market is, just like many other markets, is our listings are at an all-time low. Over about the last year or so, our listings have been at an all-time low. In fact, most of the time, our listings range between 2,000 and 3,500 every month. And last month, prior month in June, we were at 690, and July we're at about 790. It's amazing how many listings there are. The lack of inventory is fueling the market, it's driving prices up. In fact, our median price in the Coachella Valley is about $600,000 for a single family residence. That's how hot the market is. Have you thought about selling your home? So there's a tremendous amount of information in here. You don't have to be a statistician. You don't have to commit these to memory. You do need to you can generalize and use this report to your advantage. In fact, yesterday we had a buyer consultation. Agent on my team, Lauren Yackel, she's brand new. It's her second transaction. And she had written up an offer, and the buyer was a little bit upset because the other agent on the listing side came back and said that the seller's rejecting the offer because it was $25,000 under this price. So that particular buyer didn't really understand what's going on in the market. We brought him in, we sat down with him, we went through this report. I'll go through a couple pages and really educated that buyer on what's going on in the market. So it's extremely important that you are able to educate both buyers and sellers on what's going on in the market. And this report is absolutely perfect to do that. So what I'd like to suggest is maybe once a month we get together, either in a smaller group or in this format, and we go through the report. So I just want to give you a little overview because I know a lot of you have probably already looked at it and you're familiar. The one thing about this report is that it doesn't have a long shelf life, right? Because it is actual factual data and it's taken each month. So there's three sets of data. One is immediate data. So when they look at listings, when you see, we'll go through that in a minute. When you look at the amount of listings at any given time in the month, they look at a snapshot of a particular day. It's usually the first of the month. So on August 1st, we had X number of listings, active listings. So those are active listings on the market on that given day. Okay, that doesn't include things that are pending and things that are contingent. It's only active listings on that particular day. That's where they get that number. Okay. So let's just go through a couple of really interesting statistics. So this is the first page of the report. So the report's about 13 pages. This is from last month, and this was July. So the average or the median price of a home in the Coachella Valley was $599,000. Now it's really important to dig down into the statistics and read the summaries below. So what's interesting is they said that total sales in July averaged 1,061 units a month, down from 1,200 units last month, but they were still 40% above year-ago levels. The largest sales increases continue to be the cities of Palm Desert and La Quinta. So that's really an interesting statistic. So two things happened in July, right? We saw on August 1st, we saw about 100 more listings active on the market, right? And we saw fewer sales over a 3-month average. So is the market beginning to slow? I don't know. It's really important that you follow this. Do you guys all attend the Market Watch, the quarterly Market Watch reports? Yes. If you don't, you're missing just a lot of information. So make sure that you attend those Market Watch quarterly reports. It's amazing. They give out some amazing statistics. And if you've been going to those, you know, what's the guy's name that's the stat guy? What's his name? He's really good. But anyway, he's been saying for a long time that we're going to start to see inventory rise. Well, in August, we did start to see inventory rise. Is that a long-term trend? I don't know. If you're paying attention to this, and if you're looking at this report and you're studying it, and you're using it in your presentations every month, you're going to know that we've seen precipitous drop in listings over the last year during all of this COVID stuff. And last month, or August 1st, was the first month that we've seen an uptick in listings. So I've been telling a lot of my seller prospects, look, at some point, we know that listings are going to increase. And just from a seasonal perspective, we know that listings increase in September, October, November, December. So is this just a seasonal rise in listings, or is this something that's going to continue? All right, so we can go to the next one. Who's in control?
Melda. Just click. There you go.
So the next page is attached prices. So these are generally condominiums, right? So attached prices, 383,250. And if you look at the chart there, again, we've seen from July 14th or July of 14 all the way to now, we had a peak, then we had a drop, and now we've seen a precipitous rise in prices in attached homes. Again, the chart clearly shows this price surge in the last 12 months, also shows a distinct seasonal price pattern for valley attached homes, which inevitably reach peak prices in July before giving back some of the gains over the next 4 or 5 months. So if you have clients who are looking for condominiums, the message there is they've reached the peak in July before giving back some of the gains over the next 4 months. Over the next 4 or 5 months, we typically see some softening in condominium prices as listings start to tick up, right? Okay, let's look at the next one. So this is probably one of the most important charts, in my opinion, in the entire report. And I use this with sellers and I use this with buyers. So let me just talk about how I use it with sellers and how I use it with buyers. Okay, with sellers, it's really important to look at that 12-month change. Okay, so everybody understands how this works, right? August of 21, Indian Wells, the price was 1.26 million. A year ago, it was 884. So that's a 42.5% increase year over year. Okay. We refer to, this is all going to change. Okay. We refer to 2011 as the low. Okay. So prices in Indian Wells of a single family home are up 133.3% from the low of 11. So those of you who weren't in real estate then, that's when we saw the lowest prices. There was tons of foreclosures and short sales. That's the bottom, right? So 2011 is when the bottom dropped out and we saw the lowest prices. And then of course we've had run-ups since then. Now, what I always refer to is that far right column is the high of 2006 and the percentage from the high. So in Indian Wells, prices are up 4.6% from the high of 2006.
Wow.
What was going on in 2006?
Yeah.
The buyout, everybody's buying lots of investment.
Right.
People were flipping homes.
Right. What did it take to get a loan in 2006? If you had a Maltese,
Yeah.
you run to the office, you're in. I love Maltese. Here's $1 million loan. I did a ton of short sales in 11 and 12. And it was absolutely amazing how many people had 2, 3, 4 different loans. So what they did was they went out and they bought a home, and then they got an equity loan, and they bought a boat and an RV and a house in Lake Havasu too. So when comparing those, it's really important to talk to your clients and say, look, when in 2006, all you had to have was a pulse to get a loan.
Yeah.
Now, what's different today?
Banks standards are much higher.
Standards are much higher. So the question inevitably asked, and this is one of the questions that one of the buyers asked me yesterday, was, do I think that these prices are going to continue? Do I think that the increase in prices is going to continue? What's the answer to that question?
No.
We don't know, right? We don't know. But there's a couple things that are going on today that weren't going on in 2006. Number one is, as you said, the lending standards are much tighter. It's much harder to get a loan. Lenders are much more conservative. And there's also a lot of cash in the market, right? So a lot of people are paying cash.
Plus inventory was down.
And inventory.
There was a
right.
Builder.
Right.
It was huge at the
Right.
time.
Yeah. I mean, the city of Indio, I mean, that's from 2006 to 2012 or so. That's when all those homes were built in North Indio, right? So I mean, yeah, there's a huge. We don't have that today. So this is one of my favorite charts to go to when I'm talking to sellers and also to buyers. So this buyer yesterday was upset because his offer wasn't accepted, and he was upset because he thought it was a fair offer. And I said, well, look, It's in the city of La Quinta, and I said, look, let me explain something to you. The city of La Quinta right now, the average price is $699, right, from $565 a year ago. La Quinta's prices are up 23.7% and 2.5% above the high of 2006. And I did another thing that Gina suggested, a great suggestion, was I had the entire North La Quinta on a CMA, right? I did all of North La Quinta pools, no pools, all of that. And I looked at the selling price versus the list price, and it's 100%. I mean, it's 1%. So everything in North La Quinta, on average, has sold at or above list price. Okay, so that's how you have to start thinking about how you use these things on both the buyer and seller side of the equation. But this chart is tremendous for both detached and attached homes. Any questions on that one? And as we hopefully, if we can make this a regular feature where every month we're looking at this, we'll be able to spot trends, because it's really our job, you guys, to be an advisor. Okay. And if you're not paying attention to this, you're not going to market watch seminars, you're not looking at this report, you're not discussing it, you're not thinking about it, it's really hard to spot a trend. The question is the trend, will we start to see more listings, and will prices stabilize and begin to drop? Well, nobody really knows for sure, right? But by looking at this report, discussing it, and using it in your presentation, you're going to start to develop some of those answers to some of those difficult questions. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So this one is, so this is a 3-month moving average. So it's looking at the last 3 months, detached, attached, and total sales. So I love this chart. Okay, if you go back to where you see where it says 760, 553, 207. Okay, so that was last year in July. Sorry, it was July of 20. Okay, so in July of 20, there was a total of 760 homes sold. 553 were single families, 207 were condos. Okay, same time this year in 2021, 1,061 total homes sold. 722 of those were single family, 339 were condos. So not only do we have extremely high prices, we have low inventory, but homes up until about the last month or so were selling at a rate far greater than we were in 2019, 18. So we're actually up. So that's interesting. So that's a drop, right? So is that a seasonal drop? Is that just from the fact that there's a lot of buyers who are tired and have lost out on so many different properties? I don't know, but we're gonna have to continue. If we continue to watch this every month, we're gonna be able to answer that question. So on any given month, over 3 months, there's 760 homes sold back in July 20. Here it's been 800, 900. So even though buyers are getting frustrated, there's still a lot of people buying homes and condos, right? Prices are high. You would think there wouldn't be as many people, but there's a lot of people buying homes. Yeah. Now, I've seen it slow. I think it's slowing a little bit. I just closed on a property in North La Quinta on Seaweed. And I did an open house over 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I had about 60 people through the open house. I only got 3 offers. Okay. And another condo in Monterey Country Club, kind of same thing, not as many. I had I'd say about 25 showings, 20 showings, and 2 offers. So anecdotally, from what I'm seeing, and Gina, I don't know if you're seeing that too, there's still a lot of buyers in the market, but I think a lot of buyers are frustrated. If you're if you're an FHA or VA buyer, it's tough. It's really, really tough. So a lot of that's back to the point about prices and back to the point about increase in prices. There's still a lot of people buying homes. Okay, so something to keep in mind. So that's a good one to talk to your buyers. Let's go to home sales by city. So go to this is another great chart, and one that you should be using when you're talking to people about where they want to buy. You look at the city of La Quinta, for example. Again, this is a 3-month average. So 181 homes sold in July of 2021, 124 in the last year. You look at Palm Desert, 234 versus 156, so on and so forth. Just about every city, with the exception of Coachella and Thousand Palms, had a pretty nice gain in home sales. Coachella and Thousand Palms is because there's just not a lot of inventory. Those homes tend to be a little bit less, and so we all know if you have a home for $300,000, it's gone in a day, right? But you look at Palm Desert, you look at Ranch Barrage, La Quinta, those are still pacing very strong. Okay. Go to the next one. To me, this is one of the most fascinating charts. You look at the homes over $1 million. We had 157 homes sold over the last 3 months, as opposed to with a 69 home. I mean, that's ridiculous. And if you read down, it says it appears a large increase in $1 million sales compared to last year's is starting to wane. So that's something that we need to take. We need to keep an eye on. We need to get every month, look at this and say, okay, where are we today? Where were we a few months ago? That's been the pace in the $1 million homes for the last 8, 9, 10 months. It's been phenomenal. And if you look at in the lower ranges, obviously, you know, under 200, forget it. It's almost impossible. 200. But you know, the biggest gains are in the $400, $500, and $600,000 range. So really interesting stuff. Next, please. All right. So obviously, this is one of my favorite charts. I mean, do you guys realize that in August of 2017, 4 years ago, we had 3,346 active listings. That's amazing. And as of August 1st, we had 791, but that's up from 654 the month prior. So we had an increase of 137 active listings. That is definitely something we all need to keep a real close eye on. Does that continue? Is it just a seasonal increase? Because as you all know, as the fall and the winter approach, we start to see listings pick up. I mean, you look at the chart. If you look at August of 16, we were at 3,900, and by March, April of 17, probably 4,000. So you look at those dips; those are in the summer, and then we always tend to go up in the season, right? With a few exceptions with COVID. COVID kind of changed everything, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens, and we need to keep a really close eye on it. Okay. So next one. So again, these are absolutely phenomenal numbers. So days on market, 25, month of sales, 0.7, which ticked up a little bit from the prior month. So it's going to be interesting again to watch this. We were the high, where was the high? The high was like 56 days on market last summer. I mean, that is phenomenal. So everybody understand that, how that works? Yeah. Everybody understand days on market versus months of sales. Okay, so the way I explain it is that we have, if no listings came on, if everybody stopped listing today, it would take 0.7 months to get rid of it, right? Is that right? Is that how you do it?
Correct.
So, and 25 days on market for all sales is unbelievable. Okay, next.
Unbelievable.
So a month of sales, this is a 12-month average. Remember, they do a month look, they do a 3-month and a 12-month. So this is looking back at the total at the year. And the only price category that's over a month is the $900 to $1 million sale. Everything else is under a month. So phenomenal. I think we're going to start to see that tick up, but we'll have to chart it, take a look at it. We'll look at it each month from now on and see where we're at. Next. Okay, months of sales by city, kind of the same thing, right? Everything except for Thousand Palms, Desert Hot Springs, and Coachella are under a month. And the reason again is because there's just not a lot of inventory in those cities, and so it's things that tend to stay a little bit more on the market. Okay, next.
Like a month is a long time.
Month's a long time, yeah. Which is kind of crazy. So this is by far my favorite chart, particularly when talking to sellers. Does everybody understand this chart? It's really important to understand. So what this is the discount from list price, but it's the discount where it's sold. So if you list a home at $500,000, right, and you lower the price to $475 and then $450, they don't take the price from where you originally listed. They take the discount from where it was listed when it sold. Okay, so traditionally it's been about 2.5. It's gone up to 3%. So on so let's just say it's at 3%. So that's $3,000 for every $100,000, right? If you have a $300,000 home, that's a $9,000 discount off the list price. And right now it's 0, and actually it's above. It's actually gone the other way. It's it's a premium of 1.7%, which means that the average home is selling 1.7% above list price. Now, Mark Stark, a couple of weeks ago or a month ago, said, we was talking about listing strategies. I believe this wholeheartedly, that the strategy in this market is to list it at or a little bit below where the comparables are. If you list a house way over comparables, it's going to sit on the market. The idea is to drive as many people into the house as you possibly can and then run that price up based on this 1.7% increase. So that's a big number. And if you look at the increase from July 20th until now, it's amazing. It's amazing. We were always consistently between 2 and 3% for many, many years. We've never seen that. I don't think it's going to continue. I think at some point the market's going to slow. The question is, are we starting to see that now? If you read the national media, some markets are starting to slow, others aren't. I think a lot of ours is buyer fatigue. I think there's a lot of buyers who are just tired of getting, decimated on their offers, and so they're starting to look elsewhere, or just we have hundreds of buyers in our database that are like, you know what, we're just going to wait and see what happens. So last point is, this is an excellent marketing tool. So I use this in a couple of ways. One is you know how to use a snipping tool. You can snip these, turn them into JPEGs. These make great Facebook posts and make great Instagram posts, TikTok, whatever you want to do. I also use this. This is my monthly newsletter. So what I do is I snip all these. I do a little Google link, and so I do a newsletter that has links to each one of these charts and a link to this. And so I send that out every month to all of my buyers, all of our buyers and sellers, and it gets read. It gets read a lot. It also drives people back to my website. I track those numbers and I watch it very carefully. So it's not only a great tool for you and working with buyers and sellers, but it's a great marketing tool. I send it out every time I send out a listing presentation, a buyer presentation. This is included, and that's true for my team too. This is a really important document, and hopefully as we go forward, we'll go a little bit more in depth. I kind of ran through these numbers, but we'll go through a little more in depth. And I think if you attend these every month, you're going to start to see the trends, and then we'll be able to talk more. I won't do all the talking, but it's a great tool, and I hope that you guys will use it. And,
Mark, I have that question. When you send that out, and you're doing the snips and you put it on Facebook or something, are you doing a synopsis or a summary?
I just, glad you mentioned that. Make sure when you do use it that you copy the PSR and CDAR logos. Make sure you give them credit. Get in trouble. You're welcome, CDAR. So make sure if you do use it to make sure you include the PSR, AR, and CDAR logos. I basically just use the summary that they provide. I'll cut it down a little bit because it tends to be a little bit wordy, but I'll do a Facebook post on inventory, and I'll use that, and I'll according to CDAR and PSRAR, it gets a lot of play, and again, I send it out in all my pre-listing packets. I take it to every listing presentation, every buyer presentation. That's how I start my listing presentation. I say, hey, I just want to give you an overview of the market. Here's what's going on. This is the most up-to-date report, blah, blah, blah.
And on this, the discount from list is the discount from the original listing price, correct?
No, it's when it's sold.
When it's sold, but compared to the original listing price, and that
it's in other words, if you have one that's a 500, 475, you have price reductions. 500, 475. It's at the 475.
Oh, it's compared to 475.
When it's sold.
Got it.
The latest price. The latest price.
So as long as you give them credit, you could even put it on a postcard, like one of the.
Yeah.
Use one of the.
Yeah, as long as you give credit. Actually, a couple years ago, I did a newsletter, a printed newsletter, and I manipulated a little bit. They said, as long as I have the CDAR PSRAI logo on it and give them credit, it's fine. We just want to run it by them, just we say, Mark Wasserman said you can. I would just, if you send it over to Haley or whatever, or it's fine. As long as you're giving them credit. I mean, everybody uses it. Yeah, it's a great tool. It's a great marketing tool.
Whenever you're doing any type of anything like this, where you're taking a different newspaper article or something, as long as you source it at the bottom, that's enough to cover the trade infringement stuff.
I take it one step further and make sure you include the logo. That's what they told me. As long as I include the logos, I give them credit.
Well, it's certainly no surprise why you've got such a huge business, right? You do your homework, and you share it, and that's,
Well, and I
that's
think,
the influence quotient.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because, you know, this brand, Berkshire Hathaway brand, is extremely strong. And we're all very fortunate to work for a brand that is extremely strong. But we owe it to each other in this room to be informed and to give out good information. And when we sit down with buyers and sellers, you're a reflection of me, I'm a reflection of you. And I can't tell you how many times I've sat in presentation. I sold $1 million home in PJ West, and they used me initially because of the brand. And so it's a very recognizable brand, particularly with high net worth individuals. And if you show up to a listing or buyer presentation and you don't know your numbers, you're done. It's done. And you don't have to be. This will make you. This will make you appear to be the expert, because you can be. So I hate the term "fake it till you make it." No. Make it till you make it. I mean, if you just study this, if you look at it, you're looking at it on an ongoing basis every month and look at. I can tell you, I can talk very intelligent. I'm not that smart, but I can talk very intelligently on what's gone on in the market over the last 5 or 10 years without having to look at the report. So yeah, this is a strong brand, but we owe it to each other to be informed and to be, you know, give a very professional presentation. Good job.
Well, thank you, Mark.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Mark out.
I wanted to add one thing. It's a cool sounding name too on the client.
Oh, perfect. See?
I like that.
See that?
Well, thank you for that.
Thank you, Mark. Gina, if he does a meeting where we all get together, I want to know about it, because I'll sign up.
Absolutely, without question. But I think this is a good form, so everybody can pop in and do it however we
The
want to.
hardest part is just timing it, because sometimes it comes out on a Tuesday and then it's already a week old, you know, so. But we'll
True.
just have to time it.
Yeah, we'll
It is-
play
it
with
is what
it
it
and
is.
we'll see what we
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you another thing, we always send out our pre-listing packets to our clients, right? If you're emailing a pre-listing packet, you can also email this report so they get a chance to read through it and let them know, hey, we'll be talking about this when I get there. But it gives them an opportunity as well to understand what's going on in the market, to know who you are, what you're all about. Before you even hit that front door, you have credibility.
And just
And
do a quick little paragraph that I do some of my sales letters, I refer to a lot of this data. So I'll say in July, listings were blah, 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 it takes, you copy and paste, it takes 2 seconds.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I certainly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're gonna cover, let me see, we're good on time. A couple more things. As we are gearing up for open houses, a few of you have been doing open houses on listings that haven't sold in 10 minutes, so that's a really good thing. But I wanted to make sure we have a couple of reminders, because we've been out of practice for 1.5 years, right? So number one, open house signs. For the last couple of weeks, I've had agents come to me saying, do we have any signs around the office? Plan now, order some open house signs. I've included on the handout here Scott Turley's name and phone number, and so give him a call. I recommend you only use the open house signs with your name and phone number on it, right? It's visibility. It's another marketing piece. If your open house signs are around the neighborhood week after week, just by sheer driving by your sign, that neighborhood's going to know you're a working agent. So the generic ones, if you have to, but really make sure you have the signs with your information. PED forms are no longer required, but it is up to the seller to decide what they want for COVID protocols. So if the seller says, I don't care if they've been vaccinated, I want masks worn in my house, then guess what? You do not let them in the house without a mask. That's whatever the seller wants, that's the rule. I would definitely take disinfectant wipes, and when they leave, just kind of wipe down the areas. It's incumbent upon us to really stay on top of that. We want to take care of our clients in their homes. Register all visitors by going to the VAC. And so I want to show you this because I know we've showed it in the past, but it's a great reminder.
Really cool.
So I'm going to go over here to the VAC, maybe if I can navigate my way around here. There it is. Okay, So in the VAC, that's what it looks like. I'm not there. Okay, so I'm gonna go down here under, if you click on marketing, and we're gonna go over here to open house registration. And you click on open house registration. I'm gonna just use my lease that I have here, just so you can see. So you get to the open house, you open your iPad or your laptop or your phone, whichever you choose, and you type in the address of the property that you're sitting. Okay, so I click on the address of this property and I'm gonna click on open form. So you can also do this by MLS number. Now, this is the cool thing, that because people today are still a little concerned about touching paper and getting handouts because they don't know where, you know, your hands have been. Right here, if this is up, they can take their phone and scan to either fill out the registration form on their own cell phone, or they can scan, let me make this smaller for a second. They can scan for the property details. So, yes, is that the coolest thing on the planet? So if I open my barcode scanner here and I point it to property details, it'll go right to the single property website. So you don't have to worry about printing out a ton of flyers, and it's beautiful. So it really works great. If I wanted to scan to register on the device, this form right here is going to pop up. So if I put in, Lucy Ball. She came to my open house, that would be exciting, wouldn't it? Exactly. And so let's just say this is her email address and phone number. How did you hear about the open house? Newspaper, website, friend, my broker, email, saw the open house sign and stopped in. So are you working with an agent? Yes or no? And then maybe they say, well, I don't want to fill out this form. The best thing to explain to them is, while we're still in the world that we're living in, should somebody come back and say they had COVID, right? We can reach out and just give you the heads up. And so, but if they don't want to be contacted, put a little note here, you know, they don't want to be contacted. So we're respecting it, but we also have, we also are doing our job with the electronic registration. And then when you click submit, guess what? This goes right into your CRM. And so now you can have them as an additional contact if they said yes and allow it. If not, just, you know, make sure you're not putting them on any drip systems. But that open house registration system is really cool. And I love these features because you don't have to stress out about, oh my gosh, I don't have a flyer. That's okay. Tell them it was done on purpose, because now they can get the single property website. Any questions on how to do that?
No, I just wanted to add, I did that,
Uh-huh.
and Landwood has one of those registries for open houses that you can have, just in case some people don't like to use that or don't know how to use it, and they're a little impatient with that. Usually it's the older generation. So I give them options. You could do this, or if you want something manual, I give them both options.
Right. And that's good, but the reason this came up is because CAR said no paper,
Okay.
you know, when the whole COVID thing came out. So the electronic registration was designed simply to be able to collect their information and be able to contact them if you have to contact them, right? And that was the whole thing about that. We'll see if that changes. You know, I don't know what's going to happen, but we're still dealing with it, with the variant, and so we need to be cognizant of that. So awesome. Little reminders: gather your neighborhood and community materials to display. You know, if you're doing an open house in a country club development, for heaven's sakes, go to the clubhouse, talk to the membership director. Get information about what that clubhouse offers, right? What does it cost to golf? What are the membership options? Do they have, you know, what do they have available? You're not just selling a home, you're selling a lifestyle. So you want to be able to provide them with as much information as you can. The more questions you answer right up front, the faster they're going to be ready to make a decision as to whether or not they want to write an offer on that property, right? So you want to be able to give them everything. You want to give them top information. What did that HOAs cover? How about a CMA? Have a CMA handy so they know this is a great value, right? This is a good price for this house, or wow, this house is priced a little bit higher, but this is why we're priced at this, rate. And you can take that information and relay it over to the potential buyers. You want to make sure that you're inviting the neighbors. And hopefully everybody's muted because I'm going to say that word. But we want to invite either with postcards, a written invitation, a phone call, or you know what, you may want to go and knock on the door and invite the neighbors, like Mark said. So you just want to make sure that you're inviting the neighbors. And here's a quick little open house script. When you're inviting the neighbors, this is what you would say.
Show, don't tell.
After the commercial.
Every writer, every designer, every artist in human history has been taught these 3 words. That's why it's okay. Okay, the open house script, just like the just listed script. Okay, so you're gonna go, you can do it over the phone or you can do a door knocking. I personally like inviting the neighbors by door knocking. Hi, my name is Rick Barrowby with Berkshire Hathaway. We just listed a house over on Oak Street. Has 3 bedrooms and 2 baths, and it's on the market for $400,000. By the way, what are you doing Saturday? I'm having an open house. Love to come have you come by, check it out. It's gonna be open from 9:30 to 10 for the neighbors, 10 to 2 for the public. Now, it doesn't matter what they say next. Yes, we can. Yes, you can. Great. Can't wait to see you. By the way, how long have you lived in the neighborhood? Where'd you folks move from? Same exact script. No, you can't come. Totally understand. By the way, how long have you lived in the neighborhood? Where'd you folks move from? It's the same script. It's the just listed script, and you just add in inviting them to the open house. It's that simple.
That's simple. But the more you do, obviously, the better results you're going to have. So keep that in mind. On the day of the open house, obviously, you're going to dress professionally. Arrive early, please. If your open house starts at 11, don't get there at 10:59 and you're frantic running in as people are standing there. You want to check the house. You want to turn on all the lights, open the blinds, make it welcome, turn on some soft music. Make sure the temperature is fine. A lot of times people, if they're not living here full time, their air is maybe set at 80 or it's turned up, right? You never know so make sure you're getting there so it's comfortable. This is, and if you want to have some snacks and waters, that's always a good thing. But for a safety issue, park your car on the street facing the exit of the community, okay? Not in the driveway. Don't ever park in the driveway, because if somebody that is ill-intentioned parks, they're gonna come pull right behind you, you can't leave. So just always remember that. And then of course, answer the door and ask lots of questions and have a good time. This is your turn to shine. And so you're gonna go, you're already armed with all the right information. You're gonna go talk to people and just have fun with it, guys. This is a fun business. Couple protocols to think about. If you are the listing agent and if you're allowing another agent to sit your open house, make sure you let the agent who's sitting the open house know if there's any special rules. If the seller has any special requests, make sure you're conveying that to the agent who's sitting it. If you get phone calls from buyers that say, I want to see this house, and you send that buyer and you believe that this is going to be your client, make sure you tell that agent that buyer's name. Make sure that the information is correctly conveyed, so there's no misunderstandings afterwards. If you are not the listing agent and you're sitting in the open house, make sure you contact that listing agent about any special rules and protocols. If the seller's present, sometimes the sellers come in, okay? Regardless, sometimes they do this and they'll start asking questions because they like asking several agents the same question to see what answers we get from each agent. I know at times we feel like we want to show how smart we are about what's going on. Guys, this is not your client. That listing agent is allowing you to sit that open house. If they start talking to you about price, what do you think of the price? what do you think about the terms? You know, they start talking down and dirty business. Your best answer is, you know what? Let me have your agent call you. You don't know what they discussed to come to the terms and price that they did. So don't overstep those boundaries. Always refer that client back to the listing agent, okay? Because the last thing you want is to say something like, oh my God, you could have priced it $20,000 higher and gotten more money. Hello, now what did you just do, right? So, yeah, you'll never sit that agent's open house again, I can tell you that. But bottom line is, always just send that client back to the listing agent. It's really important. After the open house, please make sure everything's checked, lights off, windows closed. You know, people walk through the opens and they're opening stuff, even if you didn't. So double check, especially if somebody comes in and doesn't have good intentions, maybe they've unlocked a window in the back of the house to come in later, right? Check the windows, check the doors. If you're wondering, gosh, I don't know if this door was locked when I got here, lock it. The owners have keys. Okay, so it's better to have everything closed and locked up than not and be in trouble for it later. And then please, as soon as you leave the open house, don't say, oh, I'll do it later. Pick up the phone, call the listing agent and say, let me tell you what happened today. And tell them the number, tell them the feedback, tell them, you know, let them know, because I guarantee you the owner is calling that agent saying, what happened at the open house? And unless that agent reported back, they're not going to know. So working together, it can be magical. It can be a winning team. You can really get a lot further, but make sure you're really communicating with the listing agent and don't step on anyone's toes. That's not good. Another quick reminder is, I hear this almost every single day. People are moving all over the place, out of the area, out of the state, out of the country. You guys were Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and we can help them anywhere they go. So we have a fabulous relocation department that will do everything for you. And so I'm going to take you back over here to the VAC. Go to the VAC homepage. And if you scroll down to the very bottom here, you'll see place a referral. They make it so simple for you. All you do is you click on this link. And then here we go. Anything that has a red asterisk, name, that's mandatory. And then cell phone number. Is this a confidential referral? Did you ask the customer's permission? So yeah, if you hear John Smith down the street saying I'm moving, make sure before you put him into the reload program, you actually talk to John Smith and say, can we have somebody contact you? And the verbiage is, guys, you know, we work with professionals all around the world. Do you already have an agent where you're going? If the answer is no, just say, you know what? How about if I find a really great agent in that area for you? And that way, you know, you'll be well taken care of. Does that sound good? Right? What are they going to say? No? So they say yes, wonderful. You get their contact information, you put them into here. What our relocation department will do is reach out to a qualified relocation agent and understand, to become a receiving agent of those, if they don't go to just anybody, you have to really be well qualified. Embedded. You had to have closed so many transactions. You have to have client testimonials going to. It's a process, and then you have to go through relocation training, and many times it comes with a fee too. So, and agents will do this because, of course, people are coming in from all around the world, and it could generate some business. So once you get the permission, you put them in here. Our relocation department will reach out. Let's say they're moving to Michigan. They're going to reach out. Obviously, they'll start at Berkshire first, do a Berkshire office in Michigan if there's one closest there. They'll negotiate the referral fee, anywhere 25–30% referral fee. They complete the paperwork. All you've done is submitted this name, and you get paid when escrow closes. So it's super easy, and I just wanted to remind you that's where you go. If you have any questions or you're wondering where to send somebody, that's where to do it. Okay, oops. There we go. Okay, so I think how did it go back? Okay, there we go. And Marketing, make sure you order your listing presentation binders and keep a stock on hand. And the reason I say that is because, and this is great, it means they're going through them. They're on order, they're on back order, so they're gonna come in a couple of weeks. So if you, well, not if, you're going to be going on a listing presentation, when you're going on your listing presentation, you wanna be ready. And you don't wanna wait, if, let's say you're going on a listing presentation in a few days, what happens now, you call marketing and they say, gosh, we'll get them in 2 weeks, right? You don't have 2 weeks. So that's why I'm saying, make sure you keep it doesn't have to be a ton, but have at least 5 listing presentations sitting on your bookshelf at all times. So you are ready to go. And then as you use a few, order a few more. So if they ever do go on back order like that, you're not panicked. And I have a couple on my shelf. I keep them there just in case of that scenario when you run into my office saying I have a listing presentation and I ran out of books. I can help you, but I don't want you to use me as your first step, because what marketing does, the ones I have are very generic. When you order it from marketing, they will brand it to you. And when they brand it to you, it is just gorgeous. And that's what you want to have happen. So reach out to marketing. And then today, I am so excited about this, you guys. The Leading Edge Award winner, the IQ Mastermind, this is national, Berkshire National, and they're putting together these mastermind programs for you. And the people invited are at these different levels. But I am going to be playing it here in the bullpen today at 11 o'clock. The host is Vince Leasy. He's the CEO of Berkshire Ambassador Real Estate in Omaha, Nebraska. He actually has the #1 office in the nation. I mean, this guy's huge. And so Mark Stark actually flew the coolest helicopter. We saw him land, they videoed it. But anyway, they flew Mark Stark back to be on the panel that he just had last week, I think it was. But just a great guy, great broker. And he's got a couple panelists that are going to be discussing the market today. And so I encourage you to definitely watch these. If you get an invitation, you can sign up yourself and log on. But this is Leading Edge Award. And if you're thinking, well, what exactly is that? Berkshire National, these are all the national ones. They range, you can see, leading edge is anyone who's closed 120,000 total GCI so far, year to date, okay? Entry is 75,000, of course, after leading edge is President's Circle at 185,000 GCI. Gold Circle is 280. Chairman's Circle Platinum is 500,000, and the Chairman's Circle Diamond are those agents who have closed 750,000 GCI. That's your gross commission, all right? So those are agents doing pretty well. I wanted to put this up for you so you can see where are you and where are you ending up on this chart. So I do want to congratulate those of our agents who this is as of July. Okay, this is their numbers as of July 31st. Congratulations, Chairman's Circle Gold so far. We have the Mark's Real Estate Group and Ann Stark. President's Circle, those who have earned 185,000 and above. Kennedy Team, Wasserman Real Estate Group. George Lopez Team, Heidi Helbig, Andy Torres, and Gary Morlock. The Leading Edge Society, those are 120,000 so far. Debbie Bellman. And then Honor Society, we have Abraham, congratulations, sir. Brian Beard, Linda Kroll, Josie Thomas, Deborah Farrell, Donna Ambrose, Lance Frank, Terry Kagan, Tom Hurd, Jean Reneker, and Mimi Rieger. So congratulations again. These numbers are just as of July 31st. So you have a few more months to really knock it out of the park. And there's a lot of great things that happen when you hit these certain levels. One of the things is you will be hugely celebrated at convention. And this time our convention, hi Marty, is in Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, the beautiful Louisville, Kentucky, March 13th through 15th. It's going to be at the Kentucky International Convention Center. Our particular Berkshire franchise here has purchased 100 bulk tickets because we can get them less expensive that way. They're going to go on sale after September 9th. They're on a first come, first served basis, and Diane Ray, who is Mark Stark's executive assistant, will be keeping a list of everyone who wants to go. So if you want to go, guys, the convention is amazing. It is absolutely amazing. I was in Tennessee last year for it. Actually, it was about 2 days before the shutdown. It was pretty exciting. But you get up, I mean, you start the day in general session, and our new CEO will be speaking. So we'll hear what's going on with the company, where our visions are. I mean, it's just a huge event. After the general session happens, they do the awards for the award winners, and your name gets on. I mean, and these are big conventions. I mean, these are huge. Thousands of people are there. So your name is in lights, and you get to do that. And then afterwards, they have these breakout sessions where in small groups and rooms this size or smaller, you actually have some time with those like Alan Dalton, right? That just like Dino Blefari, the greats in the real estate industry, and they're telling you exactly what you need to do to build a huge business. But it's not just real estate related, it's business related, it's dealing with different personalities, it's so many different subjects, and it's just from the best in the industry. So it's a full day, and it's just for a few days. And of course, then there's the vendors where they give away so many things and have prizes, and it's just a giant party. So hopefully, if you want to go, I'm definitely going. If you want to go, let me know. We'll turn your name in and we'll get you on the list. The bulk ticket will be $395, and they are due no later than the 1st of October. So just keep that in mind. It'll be a lot of fun, and I hope you can go. Okay, Mark will be on today. He's back on creating easy for me to say, a personal, powerful routine. And so, he's got those down to about 15 minutes. And so definitely worth 15 minutes of your time to listen in and see what our CEO has to say to us. Okay, I'm going to give this to you and let you, if there's an update, you can give them an update. Okay.
Okay, so Melissa will be here, but I know you are doing the 11 o'clock, holding a title toolbox at 11. And then also, we do have a lot of agents that are new, or if you're still wanting to get familiar with SkySlope, they're holding a SkySlope masterclass tomorrow at 10 a.m. It's online. I have the link, and I can shoot them they can send me an email, and I can shoot over the link to them if they're interested.
Are they covering forms? Do you know?
Yes, it's gonna do forms as well.
Do you guys know what SkySlope? Choking on my water. SkySlope forms. Do you know? Are you familiar with SkySlope forms? What it is it integrates with zip forms. So you don't have to go to zip forms, do your contracts, and go into SkySlope and do DigiSign. You don't have to. You can go right to SkySlope. It connects to zip forms. You can do all your contracts right in SkySlope because you're putting, the information with the sellers, buyers, emails, and whatnot. When you finish typing your contracts, it'll ask you, shall we send this out for digital signature? You click yes, and bam, it automatically goes to get signed, comes back, goes right into your file. It is a sweet thing. So if you haven't seen it, definitely click or let Imelda know, and she'll get you the link
over. And then also, if anybody wants to schedule a one-on-one, if they have questions about the VAC or anything that they want to get started in for me, I'm available. So
awesome, very good. And of course, I have my link here. So if anybody wants to schedule a coaching, brainstorming, mentoring, or you just want somebody to bounce some ideas off of. Sometimes you just need that other person with a impartial view of a scenario. So just click on my calendar link here. It's super easy. You can pick whatever time you want, and I'm good with it. So I just want to make myself as available to you as I possibly can. Okay, any fuzzy wants? Stop sharing my screen for a second here so I can see here. Hi, everyone. Any questions from our group?
Hey, no, I have a plug I want.
Okay, hi, Lance.
Hi, yeah, can you see me? No, I guess not. Let me
No, I see your name.
let me get my picture back up here. There I am. Those listings of mine in PGA West, they're going to be starting at 3840x2160.549.9. So $25,000 less than what you have on the board.
Wow, nice.
So
Thank you. Okay, any other plugs or wants? Very good. Well, Mark, I want to say thank you again so very much. I appreciate it. Let's crank in those listings and sales. We have one more week and I really need help to do that last push. So let's get as much in as possible. I am here for you if you need anything, and let's make it one of the most profitable weeks ever. Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Gina.